All right, everyone, get ready because today we are going deep into a musical dynasty, the one and only DeBarge family. You guys have set out so much great info on them, even including this awesome YouTube documentary. Really good stuff. Yeah, and I am so ready to just unpack all of this, like 80s R&B gold, this family. I mean, their story has everything. It really does. It's got the talent, the hits, the drama, the tragedy, like so much there. Oh, it's going to be a journey. So let's dive in. It's fascinating because I think what we're going to find is that their story, it really goes way beyond just the music. Yeah, and we see this so often with these big iconic musical families. Like you think about the Jackson Five, you think about the Osmonds, the Bee Gees. I mean, the DeBarge family, they fit right in, but they have such a unique sound. They bring those gospel roots, and then they've got the unmistakable R&B sound. Absolutely. And speaking of roots, we got to start with the foundation for sure. Right. The parent mom is that Mama DeBarge Senior and elderly, or as many people know her, Mama DeBarge. That's right. What a powerful force she was. It's crazy to think that she just passed away, earlier this year. Yeah, in 2024. Wow. From everything you've given us, yeah, and all the research that we've done, I mean, Mama DeBarge, she was really the bedrock of this whole family, this whole musical family. She was a devout gospel singer, had a voice that could, I mean, move mountains, it sounds like. And her faith, yeah, wow. It seems like it was just the anchor for all 10 of her children. Yeah, especially considering, the stuff that they faced. 10 kids, that's a lot of kids. Yeah. I can't even imagine the chaos in that house, let alone like, oh my goodness, gracious, right. Oh my gosh. But in all seriousness, it does sound like music was their sanctuary. It was their way to kind of escape the poverty and the alleged abuse that they went through growing up. Absolutely. And, the sources you shared, it's interesting because they really highlight this. There's this duality. You hear it in their music. Yeah. This gospel influence blending with this raw emotion from their experience. And it just created something like totally, totally unique. It's like a musical tapestry, woven from both like light and darkness. Okay, so let's meet these incredibly talented DeBarge siblings. Let's do it. Right, we gotta start with the eldest, Bunny DeBarge, the OG. Right, she's got this warm, soulful voice, and yeah, she was known for those harmonies, just incredible. Oh yeah. But she wasn't just like a background vocalist, right? She was more than that. No, definitely not. Yeah, I mean, she co-wrote some of their biggest hits. Oh wow, including I Like It. Oh yeah, and she had her own solo album called In Love, and don't forget she and Mama DeBarge. They actually co-authored a memoir called Other Side of the Pain. Yeah, which really gives you this raw, unfiltered look into their family struggles. So it sounds like Connie, she was like this protective older sister. Are they now the one holding the family together through all the craziness? You can almost hear that like protected instinct in her voice. It's like this warm embrace. You really can. Yeah. There's also, you hear this vulnerability there too, especially in the memoir. You hear it in her music. She doesn't shy away from the pain, my but she turns it into something beautiful, something powerful. Okay. Yeah, we gotta talk about Bonnie DeBarge with you. I mean, she was the heartthrob, right? The one with this magnetic stage presence, like piercing falsetto, can just melt your heart. Seriously. But his story, it definitely has this tragic undercurrent. Yeah, there's this real, kind of bittersweet element to Bobby's story, right? I mean, so much talent and creativity, but also battling with those demons, Yeah, it's so often kind of plagues these really gifted people. I mean, he co-founded the funk group Switch, which had huge hits like They'll Never Be. That's right. I mean, he was a visionary, a producer, a multi-instrumentalist. Wow. And he was a mentor to all of his younger siblings. Yeah, showing them the ropes of the music industry. But then his life took a dark turn. It did. He struggled with addiction and he ended up dying from AIDS-related complication in 1995. Ugh. Yeah, it's a really stark reminder of the price of fame and just the fragility of life. It really is. And, Bobby's story, I think it adds this whole layer of complexity to the DeBarge legacy. Yeah, it makes you really appreciate those highs even more. Yeah. That also makes those moments of vulnerability in their music just hit so much harder. You know what I mean? Absolutely. So now to Tommy Abarge. He was like the quiet one, the steady bass voice in the family, but his contributions, they were just as important, right? Oh, for sure. I mean, think of him as the anchor, the one that was grounding everything amidst the chaos. Yeah. He co-founded Switch with Bobby and then went on to DeBarge, played bass guitar, keyboards, always providing that solid foundation for the music. Yeah. And sadly, he also faced health challenges. Yeah, battled kidney failure later in life. Yeah, passed away in 2021. Man, it seems like this family was constantly facing these incredible highs and lows, both creatively and personally. Yeah, it's a recurring theme in their story and kind of makes you think, how much did those challenges fuel their artistic expression? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, next we've got Randy DeBarge. Randy, all right. He's got that powerful tenor voice and that incredible way rhythmic sensibility, you just can't teach that. Yeah, you can hear the rhythmic complexity, in his percussion work too. Yeah, it's no coincidence that he co-wrote hits like Rhythm of the Night. I mean, come on, that groove, that infectious groove, the way it blends those R&B funk elements, it just became like signature DeBarge. It's so true. Those are the songs that just get stuck in your head for days. Oh, for sure. No wonder Randy helped propel DeBarge, to million-selling status. Unfortunately, he too faced some legal issues later in his career. Yeah. Continuing that theme, the triumph and struggle, right? That shadow following them. Yeah, it's like they couldn't escape it, but the music itself, I mean, it's powerful. It is timeless. All right, let's talk about Mark DeBarge. Okay. Sometimes known as Marty DeBarge. Right. He was like the introspective one, the smooth vocals, amazing multi-instrumental talent. Yeah, Marty was like this quiet storm. Yeah, the one who brought like a thoughtful, introspective energy to the group. I mean, he played keyboards, trumpet, saxophone. He was all over their albums. And remember he did the song Stay With Me? Yeah. Haunting melodies, soulful lyrics, later sampled by, hip hop legends like the notorious B.I.G. That's a pretty impressive legacy. And his music continues to resonate, like across all these genres, across the board. Even decades later, it's a testament to, a well-crafted song. Yeah, sometimes it's those quieter tracks. Right. The ones that maybe aren't the chart-topping hits. They're the ones that end up having this lasting impact. Absolutely. And now for the front man, the falsetto king, El DeBarge, his voice is like liquid gold. It really is. And he had this charisma. Oh, yeah, that just drew you in. El Falsetto was unlike anything else on the radio at the time. I mean, it was pure, clear, almost otherworldly. Yeah, like some kind of angelic soul soaring over these funk grooves. Sort of like, I mean, no wonder he was the face of DeBarge, leading them to fame with hits like I Like It, Rhythm of the Night. It's true. And he also, had solo success with songs like Who's Johnny? He collaborated with Quincy Jones, even on a Grammy nomination. Wow. But like so many in his family, he battled legal issues, substance abuse. It's a pattern again. I know. It really impacted his career. It did, it's heartbreaking to see that cycle, but it's also a testament to, El's resilience, right? That he made a comeback. He had an album in 2010 called Second Chance. That's right. I mean, it shows you the power of music to heal. Yeah, to offer a path to redemption. Next, we have James DeBarge. Bringing that rich baritone to the group, known for those passionate performances. Oh, for sure. And let's not forget, his high profile, though it was short-lived, marriage to Janet Jackson, the DeBarge-Jackson connection. Oh, yeah, that added a whole other layer to their story. Absolutely. But James, he was talented in his own right. Oh, yeah, it co-wrote All This Love, another DeBarge classic, beautiful song. And his voice just brought this depth and drama that just complemented El's falsetto so beautifully. It worked so well together. He did try to launch a solo career. He did. But as you might have guessed, face setbacks due to those personal struggles. It's hard to escape, right? It's like talent in turmoil, just like totally linked in this family. It's a complex equation, that's for sure. It is. Talent can be a blessing and a curse, yes. Especially with the pressures of fame, right? Weight of family expectations. Okay, now let's talk about Chico DeBarge. Chico, he had a totally unique path, kind of chose to, carve his own way outside the group. Yeah, he was the rebellious one. Wanted to break free from the mold, right? Create his own sound, right? Yeah, he had that gritty, soulful voice. Yeah, his songs often dealt with, like, the darker side of life, like addiction, heartbreak, that kind of stuff. He had some big solo hits too. He did Talk to Me. Long time no see. Yeah. And rather fittingly, Addiction. It's true. It's clear that his music was deeply personal, reflected his own journey. He took that DeBarge sound, but then he injected it with a dose of like streetwise grit. Created something raw and honest. Yeah, he was a storyteller, and his stories just resonated with people, drew them to his authenticity. Absolutely. And finally, we have the youngest siblings, the babies, Carol, known as Peaches, right? And Gail, known as young DeBarge, yeah. They were pretty young when the family was at their peak, so they had a very different experience, right? Yeah. They grew up surrounded by all the whirlwind of DeBarge's success, right? But then they also saw the fallout, the struggles, the tragedies. Yeah. Carol contributed to a family gospel album, staying true to those roots, while Daryl, he pursued a solo career. Yeah, he had an album called Turning Point. Right, just trying to find his own voice within that legacy. It's fascinating to think about their perspective, It really is. They represent the next generation, the ones that inherited the talent, but also the burdens of that DeBarge name. They also represent the enduring power of that legacy. Yeah, even with all the turmoil, the personal demons, the music continues to inspire and influence these new generations, right? It's a testament to the DeBarge sound and that timeless quality of their songs. Totally. I mean, they just had something special. Yeah. It's amazing to think about all these individual DeBarge siblings, each with their own unique talents and personality. Yeah. And they all came together to create something like way bigger than just themselves, right? What do you think it is about their music? Yeah. That keeps people coming back decades after those songs first came out? That's a great question. I think there are a few things. Yeah. First, there's that undeniable blend of gospel, R&B, funk, and pop that they nailed it. They nailed it. It was familiar, yet it was fresh, and it appealed to like a really wide audience. Absolutely. They took those gospel roots, the harmonies, the emotional intensity, infused them with this contemporary sound that felt both classic and cutting edge at the same time. You know what I mean? Like they were bridging the gap between generations. And it wasn't just the music itself, right? They had that whole visual appeal going on too. They had the style, the charisma. They brought a youthful energy to the stage. Come on, those dance moves. I know, right? But I think it goes deeper than that. I think their music had this vulnerability. And it's raw honesty that resonated with listeners, right? It wasn't just about having a good time, though. Those songs definitely did that, too. But yeah, it was about real life, love and loss, struggles that we all face. You mentioned Mama DeBarge's gospel influence earlier. How much do you think that shaped their sound? But not just musically, but emotionally. It's impossible to overstate her influence. I mean, she instilled in them this deep sense of faith. This belief in the power of music to, uplift and inspire, right? And you can hear that in those harmonies. Yeah, where their voices blend together with such passion and precision. It's like a spiritual connection. Totally, something that goes way beyond just technical skill. Absolutely. You've brought up this idea of duality several times. That tension between the light and dark, it seems to be like all over their story. Yeah. How do you think that plays out in their music? It's everywhere, really. You hear it in the lyrics. Yeah, often kind of juxtaposing themes of love and heartbreak, joy and pain. You hear it in the music itself. Right. The way they blend those soaring melodies with like darker, funkier grooves, it's like they're acknowledging the beauty and the struggles of life, right? Ecstasy and the agony, all in the same song. It's almost like their music becomes this form of catharsis, not just for them, but for the listener. Exactly, a shared experience. Yeah, this recognition that life is messy and complicated. Right. And music can help you process all that stuff. Yeah. You'll find comfort and strength, even in the midst of pain. And they weren't afraid to get personal. They weren't. I mean, some of their songs deal with some pretty heavy themes, like addiction, heartbreak, which were clearly things that they went through. And I think that's what resonates with listeners. Yet it's that honesty, that willingness to be vulnerable, right? It makes the music feel authentic, relatable, and ultimately just more human. Their influence on later R&B groups is undeniable too. Like Honey Tony Tone, Mid Condition, All of them. I mean, they all say DeBarges inspiration for sure, and it goes beyond R&B. Yeah, think about the impact they had on hip hop. That's true. I mean, stay with me. That beautiful, soulful ballad by Mark DeBarges became like a sample gold mine. Right, like everyone from Biggie to Ashanti has used it in their music. Yeah, it's like their sound has been woven into the fabric of hip hop history. It's crazy how a song from the 80s, created by this family with such a complex and often tragic story, can still have such an impact on people, artists and audiences decades later. What do you think that says about the power of music? Yeah, it says the great music transcends time and genre. It speaks to something universal, something that connects all of us, regardless of our backgrounds or our experiences. Totally. And in the case of the DeBarges, I think their music offers a sense of hope, even in this all that darkness. Yeah, it's a reminder that beauty can come from pain, right? That resilience is possible, and that the human spirit can triumph over anything. I love that. I'm curious as we're diving into this whole legacy. Yeah. Is there a DeBarge song or a moment in the music that stands out to you now, knowing everything that we know about their story? For me, it's The Heart Is Not So Smart. Oh, yeah, from their 1983 album. Yeah, in a special way. Okay. That song is perfectly encapsulates, their signature blend. It's gospel-infused harmonies, catchy melodies, heartfelt lyrics. But what gets me now is the way they navigate those themes of vulnerability and heartbreak. Yeah. Knowing the stuff that they were going through personally, it's like you hear this whole deeper level of meaning in those lyrics now. Yeah, the line, like, how can I pretend that my heart is not so smart when it knows that I'm in love but I'm falling apart? It's different now, wholly different. It's a reminder that behind the polished image, right? The hit songs, the fame, there were real people. Yeah, grappling with real emotions, real pain, right? And that makes their music, I think, even more powerful. Yeah, it gives it this depth and a resonance that just transcends, the time it was created. It's like we're getting a glimpse behind the curtain, seeing the human beings behind these musical icons. But it adds a whole new level of appreciation for their art. Absolutely. Their story's a reminder that art often comes from struggle. Yeah, our greatest creative expressions can come from our darkest moments. Yeah, and in the case of the DeBarges, I mean, their music is still touching hearts, inspiring new generations. Yeah, it proves that even with all that adversity, the power of creativity can still win out in the end. We have really covered a lot of ground here with the DeBarge family, how it's been such a roller coaster, from those amazing harmonies to those really heartbreaking struggles that they went through. Yeah. As we start wrapping things up, I'm just so curious. What do you think Mama DeBarge would say about her family's legacy, knowing everything that we now know? That's a great question. And it's really hard to say, Yeah, given her, really strong faith, I think she'd probably see their story as one of both triumph and tribulation, right? A testament to, human resilience, but also, divine grace. Yeah. She probably wouldn't, shy away from the tougher stuff, right? The addiction, the pain. Yeah. But I think she would ultimately emphasize the light that came out of those struggles. It's interesting because even with all the turmoil, the music never lost that sense of joy, that energy that made them so popular. Do you think that's because of Mama DeBarge's influence? That ability to find hope even in the darkness. I think so. Absolutely. Yeah. She seems to have been that grounding force for the whole family. One who instilled in them this belief in something bigger than themselves, right? Something that could carry them through the tough times. Yeah. And I think you hear that in music, right? Even in their sad songs. Yeah. There's a glimmer of hope, a sense that things will get better. Yeah. That love and faith can win out in the end. That reminds me of this quote from Bunny DeBarge's memoir where she talks about her mom's strength. She wrote, Mama always told us, no matter what life throws at you, keep singing. Let your voices be your salvation. Wow. It's like she knew that music would be their lifeline, their way to process the pain, find their way back to the light. That's beautiful. And it really speaks to the power of music as a form of healing, not just for the artist, but for the listener too. When we hear the DeBarges sing, we're not just hearing the music. Yeah, we're hearing their stories, their struggles, their hopes, their dreams, and that just creates this connection. It's a way that goes beyond just entertainment, a shared experience. Yeah, this reminder that we're all in this together. right? Trying to figure out life and how to cope and heal and find those moments of joy. I think that's a huge takeaway from this whole deep dive. It is. The DeBarge family story is a reminder that behind the fame and the fortune, behind the hit songs, the glamour, yeah, there are real people with real problems, real emotions. It's true. And that makes the music so much more powerful and so relatable. Absolutely, I agree. Their story reminds us that success doesn't protect you from pain, right? Even the most talented people in the world can struggle with addiction, heartbreak, loss. But it's also a story of hope and resilience and the power of family and faith. So, as we say goodbye to the DeBarge family, what's the one thing you want our listener to take away from this? I want them to walk away with a deeper appreciation for the music, for the talent, the artistry that went into creating these timeless songs. Yeah. But also, I want them to have more empathy. Yeah. I want them to remember that even our idols, they're human, with flaws, with vulnerabilities, just like us. Right. And maybe, just maybe, their story will inspire someone out there, right, to find their own voice, to embrace their creativity, to find strength and comfort in music. I love that. Beautifully said. Thanks. It's been such an incredible journey exploring the DeBarge family's legacy. It really has. Their music continues to touch so many people, inspire new generations, and their story just reminds us of how complex life can be, the ups and downs of fame, and just the enduring power of the human spirit. And to everyone listening out there, we encourage you to go back and listen to the DeBarge catalog. Yeah, listen with fresh ears. Let their music take you back. Yeah, you might just find a new favorite song, or gain a new appreciation for an old classic. Right. And as you listen, remember the story. Remember the story of a family that dared to dream big, right? Who reached incredible heights, yeah, and who faced unimaginable challenges, yeah, but all while creating music that still resonates with millions around the world. Absolutely. And that is a wrap on a deep dive into the DeBarge family. Thanks for joining us, everyone. See you next time.